All right, we did a little bit of a get ready for a long day of going to the tax guy, got some errands to run, and then I have to go to my gig tonight at Alicia's place in North Royalton. So I'm going to give you a little demonstration of how I did my makeup and my hair. Stay tuned. Hi, it's Logan Wells. I'm going to do just what's hopefully a quick video on doing makeup for when I am going to be going on stage and so forth. Listen to my voice this morning. This up and down with the weather is driving my vocals crazy. A singer's nightmare when it goes from like really cold to very warm, or even mid temperatures like in the 50s. That barometric pressure just kills the sinuses and then causes all kinds of vocal issues. So little Motrin helps with that because it is an anti-inflammatory, and your vocal cords are muscles, so the Motrin does help with that when you're struggling just a little bit. All right, so having my coffee here this morning, trying to get myself some energy. All right, so first thing I do is put on some Blistex. Love this stuff. It's a great lip primer. It really makes things very, very, very soft. Now, I've been doing a little bit of light tanning when I go to work out, but nothing too crazy, as I'm not a big fan of tanning machines because of what it can do to your skin. But I feel like if you just go in for about 5 minutes, it just kind of gives you a little bit of a healthy glow without going overboard. All right, next I'm going to use my primer. And I'm not using any particular brand. You can find these. I don't know if they sell these actually in the grocery store, but I knew, not the grocery store, in the drugstores. But I know they do sell them at like Ulta, things like that. All right, so we just kind of do that all over. And then I use my eye cream, which, where did that go? I must have stuck it in here yesterday. Yep. Just use a little bit of under eye. You don't have to pile on a lot. You can use it sparingly, and a little goes a long way. But I just use that. I'm pretty lucky, as I am 55, and I'm proud to say I'm 55, because I've earned every one of these wrinkles. But actually, I don't have a lot of wrinkles, and I think a lot of that comes from genetics. My parents are both pretty young looking for their age, and always have been. I'm just gonna kind of brush up my hair here a little bit before it starts drying sort of curly. And to be honest, I have never been really good about taking off my makeup before I go to bed. I'm horrible at that. When I come in, I'm extremely tired, and I just go to bed, makeup on, whatever's left of it. And once in a while, you know, I'll use one of those makeup remover wipes if I have a lot of mascara on, or I've gone pretty heavy with eyeshadow and so forth. But other than that, I really don't use a whole lot of products on my face. Once in a while, if I think about it before I go to bed, I'll remove my makeup and maybe use a thick moisturizer, or even just coconut oil. Some people have sworn by olive oil. Whatever works for you. If it's working, do it. But I think that a lot of it is genetics, and just being very delicate when you are doing things around your eyes. I went to get a under eye concealer. I went to Ulta, and then I also tried at, I think it was Macy's. I stopped at one of the makeup counters, and at both places, they both went to use some stuff, and they said, you don't really need an under eye concealer. You don't have hardly any wrinkles there. You're good to go. And I was like, oh, I'm happy to hear that. So at least I got that going for me. All right, so what I do use, though, is a little bit of this, and I love this. I've been using this for a long time. It's just the little thin tube of the Instant Age Rewind Eraser. And it says it's for dark circles, but I just feel like it kind of just lightens up a little bit underneath there and conceals a few things. I have, well, I just covered it up, but right here I have that little thing that's starting to come up on my face. It's like a little raised freckle, and I've had it before, and I guess like I'm gonna have to do a little video on this. To remove it, I have put some very thin sliced tiny piece of fresh garlic on it, and then put a little Band-Aid over it. You can buy the little round ones, and put a Band-Aid over it and leave it on overnight. And if you do that for 2 or 3 nights, that little sucker just, I don't know, just disappears. I think it kind of dries up and disappears. But whatever it is, I saw that somewhere and I tried it and it works. Now, it goes away for about a year and then it slowly starts to come back. So then I just do the same thing over again. And I've had it checked at the doctor and it's not cancerous or anything like that. So before you do anything like that, make sure you check with your doctor and have them look at it to make sure that it is not something serious that you shouldn't be messing with. All right, so now I'm just taking some foundation. Today I'm going to use this Simply Ageless, and that is by who? CoverGirl. And I just kind of dot a little bit all over. And there, a little on the nose, a little on the forehead. And then because I have been tanning a little bit, I need to add a little bit of a darker. So I've got this in the Deep Tan. Just kind of add that there and kind of smear that all over. Don't have to be very particular about it because I'm just going to spread all this around with my fingers. I know a lot of people like to use those brushes, but I feel like those just eat up a lot of your product and more of it ends up on the brush than on your face. So, I don't know. I just would rather use my fingers, and when you do around the eyes, make sure you go very lightly. Make sure you get in the corners, because a lot of times you tend to get little dark areas there, and you want to even that out with your foundation. And I'm just very lightly, I'm like barely touching my skin. Make sure you get in the corners of your nose, under, on top of the eyes. It's a nice little base for your eyeshadow. And just make sure you rub that in there and that you don't have a line going along your jaw. And that's it. Now, I take some powder, and again, because I have a little bit of a tan going, I have my MAC. This is a powder foundation, and it is called Studio Fix. And I was turned on to this a long time ago by Stephanie Schaefer on Fox 8 when I was doing some appearances with the band live in the morning on the morning show. I asked her, what kind of makeup do you use that lasts and that, you know, doesn't make it shine? You can just kind of put it on and it stays for hours and you don't have to worry about it. And so she turned me on to the MAC products. And at the time, you could not get these in Cleveland. I had to either, when I was in Vegas, go to one of the stores on the strip that was carrying it or order it online. But it was difficult because you can't really find your perfect skin tone, you know, to order the product. And it's not cheap. So now I do believe they carry this at some of the Ulta stores in Cleveland, so you can go in and you can find the perfect color that matches your skin. So this one I got for when I'm just a little bit tanner. And just kind of apply that first of all to my eyes because I want that to be not oily when I go to put on my eyeshadow. And that kind of like covers up any big pores or anything that you have. I don't really have any issues with that either. I'm fairly lucky with my skin. When I was growing up and I was a teenager, I very rarely had acne. Just a few here and there. And once I got into my, like, I guess early 20s, it's been very, very rare that I get any kind of acne or skin problems. All right, next I'm going to put on a little bit of blush. I have a very, very pink. Put that on my apples of my cheeks. And I know that looks like a lot, but really, after you get done putting everything and you set it with powder, it kind of tones it down a little bit. Next, I'm gonna do my contouring powder. And I've got, you know, the 3 colors. I'm gonna take the lightest one and put a little bit on this brush. Go up by my forehead. To this side. And I'm going to put on the product here with a different brush because I find it goes on better for me. If you want to create a little bit of a jawline, which I need because at my age, things start to go south. In fact, I'm doing some facial exercises now to try to get rid of this area here that just, if I gain 2 or 3 pounds, bam, it ages me, I swear to God, like 10, 20 years. I can't stand it. So I'm currently on a keto diet and I'm trying to lose some weight. I've lost 8 pounds so far and I hope it keeps going. But in the meantime, I'm doing some facial exercises to try to exercise these parts and tighten these muscles. And also up here, I'll have to do a video on those facial exercises. That would be a very, very funny video because sometimes the faces and things you're making to do those exercises is hilarious. But if it works, and I do feel it does work. I also have this little contraption thing that I bought a couple years ago that has little electric shock things that I guess it does. I don't know the exact way to describe it. I'll have to look into that again because, like I said, I bought it several years ago and I don't even have the instructions or the packaging, but you plug it in, you charge it, and then you run this thing along your jawline and here, and then up along here, and it's supposed to electronically just sort of like shock so it's like doing the exercises for you to tighten those muscles. So I'm starting to use that again too, so I'll let you know if it works. All right, so anyway, create a little jawline. I don't like to go too crazy because you don't want to have a dark line. We go outside and all of a sudden the sunlight, you see this like dark thing and it just doesn't look right. So you want to go a little light on that. And I just do a little bit there. Very, very lightly. And then make sure you bring it down so you don't have that line. Kind of hide your double chin. If you have a little one. All right, so there's that. Now, this is the one that I said, I love this brush. It was not cheap. I want to say this was at least $15, $20. And I just bought it at the drugstore. Not any particular brand, but it is so soft. Oh my God, this feels like velvet. And I tend to have, I guess, a little couple dry patches here on my cheeks that when I do my powder blush with a brush, it doesn't seem to cover it. I don't know why. It seems like it should, but and especially since I put the primer or moisturized beforehand, you wouldn't think it would do that. But I find that if I use this to do my contouring, it goes on smoother and I don't have those issues. So I just do like a little bit of that, blow some off. Doesn't take much. And you go from like the end of your eyebrow down, and that's where you start this. Don't bring it all the way to here, just about halfway. I just kind of fix it with my fingers a little bit too, smooth that out. Same thing on this side. And it kind of mimics hollowing out. So you look like you have actual big cheekbones. I actually do have some good cheekbones yet, but this helps a little bit. Every little bit helps, right? Okay, so I do that with the contouring, the browns here. And then at the end, I put a little bit of a, I don't know what color you would call this. It's more of a, I'm at a loss for words here. A dark rose. I don't know, mauve. What would you call this right here? It's pretty dark. And then I use this one and that one. So there's not much on there. Kind of put a little bit top coat of that on there. I don't want that coming down low, so there's that. You can add a little bit to the sides too so it blends. There you go. All right, so my cheeks are done. For now, what are we gonna do next? I think I would like to do my eyebrows. My eyebrows, I've just got, I need to get a new eyebrow pencil because this one's getting kind of low. And I keep sharpening it. And it's whittling down to next to nothing. I just sharpened it. So all I'm gonna do is go into there and kind of create light strokes and fill in. Doesn't take much. And the same here. I've tried those eyebrow kits where you take like the little, it almost looks like a wax and filling. It doesn't work for me. I don't know. It just doesn't come out right. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I need to look at some eyebrow YouTube videos on how to apply it, but that's it. Some people take a little bit of a brush and brush it up, but as long as it's neat and it doesn't look too clumpy or too big, and make them even. Okay, eyeshadow. Love this. I got this at Ulta just before Christmas, and it's called Gingerbread Spice. And I'm gonna tell you something, all my life, I'm very, very frugal. I really go, I go to the drugstore and I buy whatever the products are, eyeshadows that are like $5 to $10 at max. This was almost 50 bucks. And I was like, are you crazy, girl? What are you doing? But I just thought, I'm gonna, because it was near my birthday too, I'm gonna treat myself to a nice palette. And the reason I love this is because it smells like chocolate. Oh my God, while you're putting it on, it's like having a little mini calorie-free treat on your eyes. So, all right, so I'm just gonna do base. I do a little bit of this light pink and salmon, kind of cover the whole area down here. And this, I'm gonna do a little smoky eye today. All right, I think I'm gonna use this one at the top. This has a little bit of a sparkle, but I just put just the bare amount because I don't like it to look like you've got eyeshadow up there. It's just to kind of highlight your brow bone. And there you go. And as I'm putting this on, you can see some of the powder's going, and I can smell it. I just want to lick my eyeshadow. All right, anyway. Next, in the inner corners, I'm going to put this white. As they say, it makes you look more rested and alert. I don't know if it really does or not, but I'm doing it. All right, then, what should I do today? I kind of like this purpley one up there, and so I'm going to use that as the smoky thing in the crease here. All right, so I just put a little bit of that on there. You gotta blow some off because if I go like this, I tend to see a bunch of the powder landing here on the outside of my eye, and I don't really want that. So I'm not going all the way in, just kind of like where my eyebrow starts, and just bring that over all the way to the end. There you go. See, it's kind of in there. Same thing on this side. Start at the eyebrow. Just kind of bring it in the crease and just a little above. Don't want that going too high up. And if you do go a little higher up, you can always take some of it off with a Q-tip later. Okay, so we've got the smoky part in the creases. Now for the very ends, I'm going to go with this dark chocolatey brown. Chocolatey. And kind of go along the edge and in the crease again. And just do that at the very outer edge. Bring that over there and neaten that up. If any ends up there, you can kind of rub it off, but if you still see some and it smears, you can get that with a Q-tip when you're all done. And this one, the outer crease, and right there, right to the edge, blend that. Oops, see, I got a little too much on the end there. Let me wet down my Q-tip. Take that off. There. Okay. Just make sure that that's all even. Yep. Now, I can tell that this side doesn't have as much of the light there, so I'm going to retouch those areas with that lighter right there in the middle. Right there in the middle. And again, hit those areas right. Kind of bring that up a little bit. Okay. Now, I just started doing this recently. I usually use one of the applicators to do a little bit under the eye, but I find that if I still use this brush, if you just put a little bit on the edge, and I'm using the dark brown again, and I'm just going to go from the outside to right about the middle. There you go. See that? And same thing with this. There you go, making that real funny face, but it keeps the skin a little taut so you're not getting it all over. All right. Okay, and then one more little touch is I will go on the inner line of your eyes with my black eyeliner. And then a little on this side. There. Boop. All right, now at this point, I want to wash my hands because I know I've got some of that foundation on there. So you want to wash that off so it doesn't get on any of the clothes or the rest of your face while you're working on things. Okay, last thing I've got is mascara. And I just ordered this mascara from something I saw online. And it's one of those, it's supposed to keep lengthening them as you put each coat on. So we're going to try this. I hope I can get this good on film for you. Because it's hard to apply mascara looking into this rather than into my nice big magnified mirror here. So I will do my best. All right, so makeup for season, express control. Let's try it. I usually like a curved applicator. I don't know why those seem to work better for me. This is just a straight. And we'll see how lengthening it is. In fact, I'm going to do this eye first. And we'll leave the other side alone. And we'll see if it really lengthens. I just committed a makeup crime. Call the mascara police. And I just saw this recently, and I think it's a great idea because if you put your lower mascara on first, then when you go to do your upper eyelashes, it's not going to leave little marks anywhere. If you do these first and then go to do your lower lashes, all the mascara that's on the end of your eyelashes starts leaving marks up here, and you have to do all the cleanup. So try to do that the right way. All right, since that first coat has dried, let's do the bottom. Kind of go underneath, hit inside. Okay, now we'll wait for that to dry. Second coat I'm gonna do the bottom again. Oop. I'll tell you what, I didn't sleep well last night, and my eyes are bloodshot. And that's because I worked out too late. I hate working out in the morning. I am not a morning person. So I go and work out usually around 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. And by the time we get out of there, it's 9:30, 10 o'clock. And when you're working out, you know, I do the cardio and then I do all the weights. It usually takes me a good 4 to 6 hours before my body is ready to like relax after that. I don't know. I'm different than everybody else, I guess, but I would rather work out in the mornings if I could, but I can't. So you got to get it in there when you can. All right, this is going to be my last and final coat, I think. I kind of do like it. I usually use my L'Oreal Voluminous, but this is doing pretty good. I don't think it's lengthening it like it shows on the video, but it still is a nice mascara. Okay, can you see that? I wish you could see it more in this. Let's see if we can do that. Okay, so now I'll do the other side. I did it again. Let that dry. Okay, so overall, yes, it did lengthen them a little bit, not like it did in the advertisement. And yes, it did make them thicker, but here's the thing. I don't like that really thick, it's kind of a gloppy look. It starts to look like spider legs to me. I like a nice, clean, natural looking lash. And so on second thought, I would not recommend this mascara. Okay, so now we've done our eyes and eyebrows and all that good stuff. Last thing I'm going to do is put on, and I like a lighter lipstick. One of the videos I'm going to do very soon is trying on different colored lipsticks and seeing what you think of those colors. I don't feel like I wear reds well at all. I don't like it. I feel like it ages me 20 years. I feel like it makes my lips look older. It does make your teeth look whiter, but as a whole, I just don't think it's a good look for me. I wish I could wear red or darker lipsticks because I think they're really pretty on a lot of people, especially blondes, but it doesn't work for me. So I've tended to stick with the lighter frosty shades. Kind of reminds me of Connie Stevens. If you're old enough to remember Connie Stevens, I always just thought she was so, so beautiful when I was a little girl. And she had this like platinum blonde hair and she wore a very light shimmery lipstick all the time. So pretty simple. I don't line my lips or anything like that. I'm just putting that on. Make sure it's not up there. And that's that. Later on, I might add a little gloss, but for now, I'm gonna start blow drying my hair. pretty dry already, so it shouldn't take long. Now that most of the bottom is dry, this is where I just do my top part of my head and I pull that straight. So it's almost dry. Then take my big brush. I'm going to add some lift and volume. I usually do this in like 4 sections. Okay, so everything's dry, and I'm going to take my hair and just set it in these rollers. It is a rainy day out, so God only knows what will happen with this hair. I'm going to hit it with my straightening iron just to heat it up. Stick a very large roller in there. Take this one, back comb it a little bit. Heat it up. And I'm putting a medium-sized roller in that one. I'm going to go to the one just behind there. Sort of still at the crown. Back comb. Hit it with the straightening iron twice. And put another large Velcro roller in there. Then I'm going to start at the side and back comb. If I really want it to stay, get a lot of volume, I can spray down by where I back combed. I will spray that with a little bit of hairspray. But I'm skipping that today because I'm in a hurry. Back comb. this one I'm going to put a small yellow one so it has a little more curl. Ah, what happened there? There we go. And the same with this. I'm going to add a little bit of curl there. Make sure that that stays there. I'm not going to back comb that area. I'm just going to heat it up. Stick a yellow in there. And continue doing this on fast motion. Okay. Boop. Got a little hair left there. Must be some new growth from taking collagen. I have been taking collagen for about a year and a half now. My hair, literally a year and a half ago, was, you know, as short as my ears. And it's down to about here now. So it's a lot of growth. And I'm lucky that at my age, I still have very thick hair. I've always had very thick hair, especially in the back. Okay, so I'm dividing those into 3. You stay up there. You stay up there, you. And this one I'm going to back comb a little bit. Bring the straightening iron through it. And I'm doing this not over this way or over that way. I'm doing it straight down. And then the same for this. Back comb a little. And start at the root and then bring it straight down. And now I'm going to take this whole thing. I'm not really brushing through it. They're still kind of separated. And bring this up and over, and then I'm going to set a large roller, again, straight down. If I want to wear my hair over this way, I can take it and twist it like that, but I'm kind of wanting my bangs to be a little straight so I can have them sort of wispy and I can move them around however I want once this is all done. All right, we need one more clip. There we go. Speaking of these clips, I bought these clips at the store. These are supposed to not have to need clips, but I find after I've set my hair, if I go downstairs to go find what I'm wearing for the day or waiting for these to cool off, they tend to start falling out, it seems like, on the sides. So I went and bought these clips. They're very inexpensive and they're easy to use, put in and take out. Okay, now I'm going to heat these. I have that one heating cap that I sometimes use, but since I don't have time today, I'm just going to hit it with my blow dryer for about a minute and then let them cool, and then I'm going to take them out. Just heat them up so it, again, reheats them and helps set the curl. Yeah, I'm working out. I need to work out some more though. Just heat them up until it's like, gets them very hot, and it will help set that curl even more. Be careful not to burn your hair or your skin or your scalp. You just want to leave the heat on it so you can tell that it's being heated up. Okay, now while those are cooling, as I said, the makeup starts to sort of, I don't know, just sort of starts to settle in on your face. That's how I feel anyway. And it looks better than it did when I was first applying it. One last thing I like to do is I have a dewy finishing spray. It's a setting spray. And it just adds a little bit of dewiness to your skin, which at my age is important. Because if you can't get it naturally, you got to get it somewhere. So you just lightly spray this. That's it. Make sure that it didn't hit your mascara and leave little dots. I'm going to try to brush through these eyelashes because, as I said, I don't like them clumpy. So I need to find my eyelash brush. Where did I put it? It's in all this. Too much makeup. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Got lucky. All right. I'm going to heat this up. See if this works. If I heat up the brush, will it separate all that thick part? That's for heating it up. That's the part right down there I didn't like. It was getting kind of clumpy there. So you want to hear something crazy? So I was trying to unclump those lashes that I didn't like, that very chunky black. You know, it's just like an overly done mascara look. I don't like that. I like a very natural looking everything. So I was going like this, you know, trying to pull some of the mascara off. It literally pulled my eyelashes out. Pulled those eyelashes out on the bottom, which, I don't know if you can see that, but on the outer corner, look at the difference between that one. I don't know if you can see that one. That one has lashes. This one is, I hope they grow back. So, lesson learned, don't ever do that. Do not ever try to pull it off with your fingers. I would suggest, if your mascara looks clumpy, to either remove it with eye makeup remover, towelette, and start over, or while you're putting it on and it's still wet, have a mascara comb that goes through the lashes while they're still wet so it doesn't dry in clumps. What can I say? Big mistake. Big mistake. Okay, I would normally love to leave these in for at least 15 to 20 minutes, but I've got an appointment with my tax guy, and these have only been in like 5 minutes, so it is what it is. I guess for my gig later, if I need to recurl it, I can always put the curlers back in, but let's hope that this worked good enough. Let's see how that came out. Yeah, that's holding the curl so far. I like that. I work from the bottom up. It's easier to take the bottom ones out first. You know, those actually set well, except this one. I don't know about that, but I'm gonna hit that one with this and hope for the best. Ooh. What the, oh, I unplugged this. That's why. Well, let's plug you back in. Oh, Lord. All right, finish taking out the rest of those. I'm going for a very loose but full curl. Let's try that again. It's not curling it at all. What the heck is going on with this hair? It's like curl resistant. That one worked better. That's good enough. All right, top. And this one, and that one. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, that's what we want. It's not gonna stay like that though. Okay, so what I do is I tip my head over and kind of loosen it. Let me see if I can get this. And I'm gonna take a little bit of my volume spray, Kenra. And I flip this, just kind of loosen things up with my fingers. Give that a spray underneath. That adds volume. Shake it and flip it over. Let's go back. So that's what it's looking like there. It's kind of a wild bedhead look. I actually am due for a full haircut, not taking off length, but just adding more layers, because when the layers get longer, it's not as full on the sides as what I'd like. If you have some short pieces in here, then it tends to look full all over and the curls hold a little better. Okay, so this is just a very loose curl, kind of giving it a spray as I'm fluffing it. Same thing on this side. Kind of like the way that looks all on its own. Now here's the crazy part. I don't want to lose any of this height here. So I'm going to take that piece and just kind of very lightly comb it back. Give a little fluff. This part here. Back comb that a little bit again. I think this part here needs it. And there we go. We want some height there at the crown and at the back of my head. And then this, you can kind of flip some of that over. If I want to wear it over that way, I can just have a little bit of a bang. Just spray that again. And then if I really want to hold it, and I won't apply a lot of this because I don't like my hair to look like it's sticky or unmovable, but I'll just add a little bit of that, especially since it's rainy today. That's it. It's as good as it gets for right now anyway. All right, so that's the back. It's the front. Makeup. Gotta go. Do my taxes. I hate that. I just hate it. All right, see you later. We're going to clean out my shoe closet and reorganize it. Have a nice day. Okay, so after running around and doing some errands, I kind of reset my hair and then refluffed it, and that's what it looks like behind. And the curls held a little bit better because I had some hairspray in it, but that's it. All right, off to work I go. Bye.
Well, there used to be rain. My yesterday was blue. If I